Okay. All right. Matt. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of your family?
Like what?
Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with your parents? Because before you had mentioned to me that you find them to be people you can talk to, although you don't feel that they're as supportive as they could be.
Yeah, like my relationship with them, they've always like been there and been supportive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like they've urged me and my sister to kind of like do things on our own and solve our problems on our own.
Okay.
So like it's like they're supportive to a point, but after that point they kind of like step back and they're like, you need to do it on your own, kind of thing.
And so, how do they react when you try talking to them about your anxiety from school?
They'll listen. They listened at the beginning, but as I continued to talk about it, like over like weeks that I was still having the issue, they kind of like distanced themselves. I think that their view was kind of like stop whining about it if you're not going to do anything to change it. But in my mind, I was trying to change it. And I couldn't think of anything else that I could do, and I was kind of stuck. So it kind of put me in like a tough position.
Now, have they explicitly said these things to you, or is this just kind of the way that you interpret how they feel about your situation?
It wasn't explicit. They didn't like actually say those words exactly like that, but it was implied, and I could infer it. It was pretty obvious what they were saying and the way that they were acting.
Okay. Now, in the past, how have you gotten along with your parents?
I got along well with them. I was like, I guess like a good kid. I rarely got in trouble. I always like did my work. So like they didn't really have any issue with like my actions before that. So.
Okay. And what about your history with your friends? I know that before you had touched on a little bit that you used to see them almost every day, and now, of course, it's a lot less. But did you have good relationships in the past with your friends?
Yeah, I think I had a good relationship with them. We did stuff together. I did used to see them all the time, but that was before I had to worry about school and not graduating. Because like before that, I was right on par with them. So like we were all going to graduate together because we were friends from high school. So we were all going to pretty much graduate around the same time, and now it looks like I'm going to be falling behind.
Okay. So you really do feel that this stats class is going to impact your expected graduation date?
I'm pretty certain that it's going to affect it.
Okay. Now, talking about your current situation, a little more on that, have you tried talking to your professor and expressing that you feel that you're falling behind in the class?
I've thought about it. I never actually did talk to him.
What do you think would happen if you tried bringing this up to him?
I have no idea. I would assume that he would just say that there's nothing he could do.
Okay. What would make you assume that? Does he seem like a closed off sort of professor?
I don't really know him. I've never really gotten close with any of my professors. But I've always kind of viewed college as like different from high school, whereas in high school it's very like everyone's trying to help you, and in college you're kind of on your own. So like if you can't handle it, then you probably should be.
Well, I realize a lot of people do feel that way, and certainly there is a greater degree of freedom and independence that is expected of students in college. However, I think that a role of most professors is that they want to be there to help the students, and at least to some extent be willing to listen, to your feedback. And I would think think it might be worthwhile to talk to your professor. You know, even if it's only a short conversation, you know, even if you need help on a certain assignment or you have kind of an overall, you know, concern, you know, there might be an opportunity for extra credit or, you know, you might be surprised. I mean, do you feel like it would be beneficial if you were able to actually approach him?
It might, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna be able to pass the course, and I can't imagine that there's anything I could do. I would probably get just as anxious talking to him as I do during the class, and I think that could negatively impact like his reaction. So,
Well, how long do you have left in this course?
I think we have I think we're almost a little over halfway.
Okay. Are there any students in your class? You mentioned earlier that they all seem like they kind of know what they're doing in the class. Do you think that any of them would be approachable enough to help you, to talk to you about assignments?
I don't know anybody in the class. I've always kind of lived by the saying that it's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So I usually I wouldn't want to approach one of them and act like and just say something that would make them think that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like I feel like if I did that, they would just feel like they would have to teach all the material to me and would just pass me by. So.
Okay, so you kind of fear their reaction that if you ask a specific question, they might assume that you don't know that much about the material. Even if you were to go up to them and approach them with a very specific kind of concrete question and ask for maybe 5 minutes of their time, do you think that would be a reasonable approach?
I guess I could. I've thought about it, but I don't know if I actually could.
Okay. Now, could you see yourself working on that in the future as a potential goal for treatment? Maybe in the future sessions we can work together on building maybe your confidence in the social arena. You know, if you're uncomfortable approaching your professor or classmates, is it something that might be helpful to you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what would you like to see happen from here in terms of your treatment?
I would mainly like to find some way to calm myself down. Because I would I'm almost completely finished with my degree, and it's just this class that's holding everything up. So I'm eventually going to need to finish this class. So I would like to be able to finish the class. So I would need to have some way to control the anxiety that I feel, and I need some way to not feel that way.
Okay. All right. So Nat, I think that in our session today, I certainly got a little bit of an idea from you as to what is mainly bothering you, and I think that through future sessions, if you're willing to come back to treatment and participate over the next 5 weeks or so, I think we can really start to make some progress towards removing those anxiety symptoms and maybe even improving your grade in the class. Who knows? We're gonna do our best though to empower you. And do you have any questions for me right now before we close today?